Hello, my name is Kent Philpott, number 3 on our series on Wicca. Wicca, Wiccans, witches. It's an interesting story. I've been studying for some time now, rather shocked at what I learned, and I'm passing along information. I'm not making too much of an analysis from my perspective, one Christian's perspective, but I'm informing. I'm wanting to get it out so people know what really looking at, because a lot of different information out there, and frankly, some of it's not very straightforward. It's kind of laid in between the lines. They like to fly low under the radar, it seems. But I'm trying to give an accurate projection of what it is based on their materials. The only books I read, the only material I studied, were from proponents of Wicca. Okay, so now this third program is part 4, my outline, my series, and this is called the Wiccan Ritual. A Wiccan ritual is a means of creating consecrated ground or sacred space in order to pay homage to deity. Ritual is also used to do magic and to work with the energy of the god and goddess. Next point. It is a good idea to do a small ritual every day to honor the Lord and Lady. That's not an insignificant statement. It becomes very large after a while. And from what I've read, I don't think I could even do it. I mean, if I wouldn't want to, but if I want to try, it's all-consuming. I mean, your whole world and thought life is taken up with it, essentially. Next point. Rituals can be performed to ground oneself, to connect with the goddess, to celebrate a Sabbat, to honor one's ancestors, or to perform magic. There are 8 Sabbats having to do with the earth and the positioning of the sun. That would be the equinox, the solstices, and the points in between. So it comes up with the 8 of them. These fall about 6 weeks apart. 4 of them are known as solstices and equinoxes, that's what I said, and the midpoints between them are the cross quarters. Next point. Covens meet to perform rituals together regularly for the 13 Esbats, or Wiccan moon rituals, and 8 Sabbats every year. So you divide that up, add that up, 13 and 8, what that's 21. Esbats have to do with the moon, especially full moons. The Sabbats have to do with the sun. Next point. In the ritual, it is necessary to call down the quarters. That are the 4 directions, north, east, south, and west, and the elemental powers, which are earth, air, fire, and water. Over these is spirit, which sits atop the pentacle. Now, a pentacle is a pentagram with a circle around it. A pentagram is that 5-pointed star, all one line really, but that 5-pointed star with a single point at the top, sitting on the 2 feet and the 2 arms out. And when you draw a circle around it, that's a pentacle. And doing magic takes preparation, body, mind, and spirit. It is very time-consuming and all-controlling. A witch's journal is called a book of shadows. A witch's recipe book for the potions and other details of the kind of spells is called a grimoire. I may be pronouncing that wrong. It looks like a French word. The grimoire can also contain lists of angels, spirits, and other magical properties of objects found in nature. I'm going to go right on to part 5, which is titled, these are all my titles, Summoning, Stirring, Calling, Inviting, or Requesting. You can summon certain entities. Now, this is when you're doing magic work. You're in the circle, this circle that is made, and you're going to do your magic or you have your ritual. What you do, you need these entities to come help you. And some are summoned, some are stirred, some are called, invited, or requested. And I'm going to talk about these very quickly. You can summon certain entities. the four elements, for example, or fairies and the elementals. And of course the four elements are air, fire, water, and earth. Now the elementals, a little different word, are personifications of the four elements. Personifications, in other words, here's north. Well, what does north look like? Well, you don't have any idea about that. Excuse me, air or fire, water, earth. What does fire look like? So they take on personalities. The personifications. So the elemental associated with air is a Sylphs. I can't pronounce it. Sylphs. Fire is personified by a salamander. Water by a nymph, or what's called an undine. And earth is gnomes. Gnomes are kind of these funny little creatures that are very short and they don't have any expression. But that's their personification in Wicca. Other larger, more powerful enemies are stirred. You have to stir them like you stir some ice in the glass. These are the ancestors, spirits of the departed dead. Dragons and watchtowers are very dreadful and powerful kind of entities, they say. You stir them because they're sleeping and need to be awakened before they can attend your ritual. If you want the god and goddess to attend your ritual, the lord or the lady, you call them, but respectfully, and they will come. And you can call angels too. When you invite entities to your ritual, you ask them to be present, not necessarily to join you inside the circle. These are the familiar entities. You can request the presence of any of the four winds and of your spirit guides. You also need to tell the entities you have asked to the ritual what you want them to do. You can ask them to protect you, observe, or help you carry out your magic. It makes you wonder if this is all make-believe or not. And of course, this is the title by essay overall. Wicca, is it real? Next point, air, fire, water, earth, and spirit have dragons from the elemental realm. I'm not going to get into it, very complicated, but I just wanted you to hear that. Guardians of the watchtowers. What are these? Some witches are afraid of them and won't use them in ritual. Now, why would they be afraid of them? Fairies, flower fairies, mermaids, mermen, little people, sprites, pixies. These can appear as miniature humans, or they can take the form of an elf. They are summoned. You'll know that the fairies have arrived when the flames of your candles start to dance around. They are extremely mischievous. To discourage fairies from taking a permanent residence in your home, hang iron pots around the house, because iron renders fairies powerless and incapable of magic. They will flee from the metal and leave you in peace. Now, how do they know that? Where does that come from? What's the authority behind that one? The elementals are the Sylphs, the salamanders, the undines, and gnomes. They have tree spirits, and these come from the realm of fairy. The Lord and the Lady are all around us all the time. So too are all the many varieties of angels. The ancestors also dwell in the realm of spirit, but they are sleeping. Now, these are statements I've just pulled out of books on Wicca. Angels. Now, they're divided into three levels. One, there's the seraphim, cherubim, and thrones. The second level is dominions, virtues, and powers. And three are the principalities, archangels, angel messengers, and guardian angels. I have to say that in the New Testament, Paul talks about the various spheres of the demonic, and in that he includes the very words thrones, dominions, principalities, and powers. The very words that the Wiccans use, but they don't see them as demonic. The ancestors, these are figures from the past who have great wisdom and knowledge. They have lived in the times of Egypt or Rome, Greece, people like Socrates, or maybe even a grandparent. Guide spirits like guardian angels are assigned to us at birth, and we can have as many as 7. Sometimes a guide spirit is a soul that does not need to be reincarnated. Often spirit guides come to us in our dreams. If you meditate regularly, you may start being able to see them. Familiars are individual animals that are inhabited by spirit. They can help with magic. Familiars have more dignity than regular pets because they are able to communicate with you telepathically. Well, I'm going to stop there. And next program, we're going to get into Wiccan principles and ethics. So long.